What if the reason you can't finish a single task anymore has nothing to do with willpower? What if your brain has been quietly rewired, without your permission, by something so small you can't even see it? Right now, as you watch this, a chemical is firing in your brain. It's not making you happy. It's not even making you satisfied. It's doing something far more dangerous. It's making you crave the next thing before you've even finished this one. Why can some people read for 3 hours straight, while you can't get through 3 paragraphs without checking your phone? Why does a 2-minute video feel too long, but scrolling for 2 hours feels like nothing at all? And why? If this chemical evolved to help humans survive, is it now the reason your focus is falling apart? To understand this, we have to go back. Not to smartphones, not to social media, but to the African savanna, tens of thousands of years ago. Dopamine wasn't built for pleasure. It was built for survival. Every time an early human spotted movement in the grass, dopamine spiked. Not because they found food, because they might find food. That's the twist almost nobody knows. Dopamine isn't the reward chemical. It's the anticipation chemical. In 1997, neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz ran an experiment on monkeys that changed how scientists understood the brain forever. He expected dopamine to spike when the monkeys received a treat. But that's not what happened. The dopamine spiked before the reward, the moment the monkeys expected it. Once the reward became predictable, the dopamine response faded almost completely. That single discovery is the key to everything happening to your attention span right now. But here's where things get strange. If dopamine is about anticipation, not pleasure, then the most addictive thing in the world isn't a satisfying experience. It's an uncertain one. And nothing in human history has ever delivered uncertainty faster, cheaper, or more constantly than the device sitting in your pocket. Every notification is a tiny mystery. Every scroll is a gamble. You don't know if the next video will be boring or brilliant. You don't know if the next message will be important or nothing at all. Your brain, still running ancient software built for spotting rustling grass, treats every single one of these moments like a potential threat or reward worth investigating. Then scientists discovered something even more unsettling. In the early 2000s, researchers studying slot machines found that the most powerful reward pattern isn't getting a reward every time. It's getting one unpredictably. Psychologists call it a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, and it produces the strongest, most compulsive behavior ever recorded in behavioral science. Casinos have used it for a century. Now, your apps use the exact same principle. The pull-to-refresh gesture on your phone was directly inspired by the mechanics of a slot machine. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're being pulled by a system engineered using the same psychology that empties wallets in Las Vegas. But the real mystery is what this is doing to your brain over time. In 2019, a study published by researchers at King's College London found that heavy digital media multitaskers showed reduced gray matter density in the anterior cingulate cortex, a brain region tied to focus and emotional regulation. In simple terms, the more your brain switches between quick hits of stimulation, the harder it becomes to sit still with just one thing. This is where it gets even more disturbing. Dopamine doesn't just create craving. It resets your baseline. Neuroscientists call this the reward prediction cycle. Every time you get a small dopamine hit from checking your phone, your brain slightly raises the bar for what counts as interesting. A quiet room, a slow conversation, a single task with no reward for 20 minutes. These start to feel unbearable, not because they're boring, but because your brain has been trained to expect stimulation every few seconds. That's when everything changed for how scientists view attention itself. Focus isn't just a skill anymore. It's becoming a biological battleground. Cal Newport, a computer scientist who studies deep work, argues that the ability to concentrate without distraction is turning into one of the rarest, most valuable skills in the modern economy, precisely because so few people can still do it. So here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. This isn't an accident. Former tech insiders, including early Facebook executives, have publicly admitted that platforms were deliberately designed to exploit this exact vulnerability in human psychology. Not to inform you, not to connect you, to keep the dopamine loop running for as long as possible. But there's a strange twist buried in all of this. The same mechanism destroying your focus can also rebuild it. Studies on dopamine detox and structured boredom, including research from addiction specialists, show that when people deliberately remove constant stimulation, even for a few days, their brain's baseline resets. Reward sensitivity returns. Ordinary things start to feel interesting again. A walk, a book, a conversation. Your brain isn't permanently damaged. It's temporarily recalibrated, and recalibration can be reversed. The fix isn't more willpower. It's fewer unpredictable triggers. Turning off notifications isn't a productivity tip. It's removing yourself from a slot machine you didn't know you were playing. Which brings us to the real question underneath all of this. If a chemical older than language itself can be hijacked this easily, how much of what you call your personality, your impatience, your distraction, your restlessness is actually you? And how much of it is just a very old survival system, reacting to a world that was never designed to survive? Maybe the most radical act left in the modern world isn't doing more. Maybe it's simply being able to sit still, undistracted, with your own mind, long enough to remember what it once felt like to think in silence. Cheap